Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lemon.
Just briefly, I think Ted, maybe Tom and I are the only people that live here when the vote came in to make. And at the time, I believe people were concerned about being part of Boston and did not want to be involved in that way. That is my recollection. I don't know, Kevin, but that was really, because I came to those discussions, mostly it was that they didn't want to be absorbed by Austin or Buda. And the second thing is, I do have a question. So if we go into this interlocal agreement, would we mostly or all be, and you may not know the answer yet, all of Hayes County codes, and would that get rid of our codes, or would it be a combination? Do we know yet?
It would not be a combination. They did ask Christine to send all of the ordinances we have on file. And so she did send a current copy of our code and all the ordinances that we have in our city thus far. Is that correct?
Right.
To them, to the judge's office. They are their
This report.
legal.
I have it recording.
Okay.
Their legal department is reviewing that. These processes do take time. And so once we know what they can provide for us, how they can help us, and at what cost, then we will have those discussions. We'll bring it to council. It is always up to the council to make that decision. But we are at the request of our residents, many of whom have placed, filed formal complaints.
Yours in a vocal few.
It's more than we've had in years now. More than we've already had to reach out to our attorney multiple times and expend those funds. And so
Like I said, is it many different people or is it a vocal few?
it depends on what you deem a vocal few. And I can't give you the number, some of these things, but if I may, Mr. McCorkle has a question.
Well, to clarify, this isn't really asking someone to step in and make us do what they want. We've always had for a long time, we've had city ordinances,
Right.
but they've been unenforceable.
Correct.
And this would allow us to have an authority to come in and do that they do for us what we can't do for ourselves. We had a city marshal many
Yes.
years.
Yes,
But that's been 30, 40, 50 years. I don't.
right.
So we have all these ordinances to protect the city of Hennepin.
Right.
Have it be what we want it to be.
Right.
If somebody violates that ordinance, we can't do anything about it.
Correct. We don't currently have a code enforcement officer or JP. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Well, we all realize that people have junky cars. Right?
Okay.
They have trash in their yard I'm sorry, it hurts everybody's property values.
Yes.
And it's an infringement. There are certain people in this town that are not courteous to their neighbors and not considerate. And like your situation, I've known that man too. He's not a very nice person. And so it's a matter of us trying to uphold our property values that we have and make it a more pleasant city to live in.
Right. And safety being first of all. First and foremost, the safety because of the risk for brush fire, all of these environmental issues, things like that.
Yeah,
What I would recommend as a neighbor, and as a resident, and I came out here for the same reason we had an HOA that was like, your grass is 1/4 of an inch too high and we would get cited. We had those, as did
fine,
Rose.
dollars for your trash can got left out.
50, 50,
$50.
50, 50, 50,
Pay
50,
$120 a
Yeah.
month to fine you if you're.
Yes.
Attended.
And so we didn't want that. But in the interim, until we have an interlocal, I would ask upon all of us to, and me included, to use our big trash day services to clean up. If anyone needs help, we have an account here. Mayor Harvey has funds earmarked for anyone who needs social services. Someone needs help cleaning up their yard. We have, for example, I donate my cars that I no longer use or any of my other children can use to disabled American veterans. They can always tow a car. They'll take it if you have the title. If anyone has anything that they need help with, let us know. We're all very good neighbors here. We can help one another. And if we don't want the interlocal, then we have to do it ourselves. If we don't want someone coming in, and the day that we were there, the gentleman said, I can send the sheriff out there tomorrow. And we said, whoa, no, thank you. Let us speak to our council and our residents and give them proper notice. and then come into interlocal, speak to our attorney and see what we can do versus having sheriff's deputies come into the neighborhood and what have you. So we have a chance now to clean up and help each other so that we don't have to take, this is gonna be an expense for the city. It's already been a big expense as far as legal services and what have you. So if everyone can clean up, ask your neighbors if you need help, ask the city if you need help. We'll be glad to help so we don't have to do that. So we don't have to do that. Yes, ma'am.
Can you just quickly clarify one thing? I think we did become a city in like
1971,
70.
79.
Okay, so that was the year we moved in, and I think ever since then, the city ordinance have been available. I mean,
Mhm.
probably the problem is what he just said about enforcing.
Right.
But we haven't always had city ordinances, and they have changed through the years, different. I mean, Candace probably has been on it long enough that y'all worked often on changing them and redoing them, right?
Right.
I just wanted that
Candace.
clarified.
Oh, I just wanted, yeah.
Right.
It was obvious that when the city was founded, people wanted, they would put in codes immediately
Mhm.
to have, to have a nice neighborhood. I don't think anybody was under the impression that we were, ever gonna be some, super high level development, but there were codes that people wanted and they've been ignored because we just don't have we don't have the enforcement officer of the courtroom. So this is a way that we can have them enforced. I don't know how different Hayes counties are. The Hayes County used to be that if you had a problem with your neighbor and they just were not taken care of, you could call Hayes County and they would come out.
Mhm.
Pick them up.
Mhm.
They have authority to do that. So
They have offered that to send a sheriff and we asked them to wait.
it's been done.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like to just reiterate what you were saying, the safety factor, because this home, this next door to this home is a fire hazard as far as I can see. And that's a threat to the neighbors, both sides and everywhere. And it's really, I mean, that's or you talked about the keeping the neighborhood nice and keeping a value and so forth, but the safety issue.
Safety is number one.
Safety's the top one, and I'd hate to see something happen to somebody.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate y'all pursuing this, and I hope it comes big because we got a great neighborhood. Just gotta, and it's not terrible everywhere.
That's right.
You select
Just a few
deals.
pockets, that's
I think
right.
everybody- It'd be reasonable. I think everybody would agree that, hey, this may need to be paid attention to. So,
Right. And I know the courts, and as a paralegal as well, Hannah, the courts go by what's called a reasonable person test. If you ask 100 people, is it reasonable to have X amount of junk cars, 50 pets, this or that, or bamboo stacked to the hilt that's dry and could potentially cause a fire? Reasonable person is going to say, no, that's not reasonable. But we are working on that at the request of our residents who come forth. And thank you for that. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? And I thank everyone for your patience tonight. This was a lengthy one. Thank you. The next item, oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I had a quick comment. I did just want to say thank you to everyone that has made a comment, whether it be, opposed or in support of it. It's my understanding that the council is researching this, because they are serving the residents who have come and vocalized the need for help and, the need to enforce our own city code. It's my understanding that, like I said, the council is here to serve its residents. So I do think it's extremely important for people, our residents, the residents of the city, to speak out and voice their opinions on the matter.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the city council enforcing it and finding a way to enforce it within ourselves. I have a problem with us going to another division and saying, hey, why don't you come in and enforce it for us? I mean, if that means that we need a city marshal or whatever, whoever we used to have to come do it ourselves, then do it that way. Instead of going to Travis County or Hayes County. Sorry, I do a lot of stuff in Austin. Going to Hayes County and saying, hey, can you come take care of our problems for us? Because we want to be the sweet, nice neighbors and we don't want to cause a problem.
We also.
Stand up there yourself.
Go ahead.
We also don't have any municipal type of court system to follow through with it.
Okay,
That's the thing.
I don't know the
Yeah.
process that it would take to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you have to do, but if you're gonna have city or, it's like, as a mother, I don't put rules into place that I can't enforce because that's making me look weak. Because if you don't do this while I'm not in the house and I'm not watching you, this kid's gonna do it, what am I gonna do? I'm not even gonna know they did,
True.
right? If you can't enforce it, don't put the law in place in the first place. If you're not going to,
We would need a code enforcement officer, a judge, a court, what have you.
Right.
That's also an option. We'll know more once we continue negotiations about the interlocal, but we already have an interlocal, and that was the advice of our attorney. Already have one for the pets. And so they asked us for code enforcement to seek an interlocal as well. That was the advice of our city attorney. The next item, and Beth, I understand that the verbiage, instead of food bank, maybe food pantry or
free
something,
fridge,
right? But it all,
free fridge pantry.
it's collectively the same concept, whether it's a pantry, a bank, or what have you.
No,
Is the
because
city,
has rules and regulations that the free
right?
fridge pantries do.
But we have rules and regulations the city has to follow, and what our attorney recommends as well, and our liability and our policy as well. We've done extensive research, and Rose McCorkle has taken the lead on that, and she'll be providing that, but the item is 6Q, we're already on number Q, letter Q. Consider and take appropriate action on request to allow a food bank, which is a pantry or a closet or what have you, to operate. The key is on city property.
Yes.
And so Rose, if you may.
I did a lot of research because I knew nothing about it. So now no more and I did know. There are places not in Hayes County, but in Travis County where they do have an open pantry. And they're very, Central Texas Food Bank said very, very mixed reviews. They are not always successful. The food coming to there, I would assume be a donation given to who?
The food coming to the pantry?
Coming to the pantry.
That would be, I would provide some of it. Heather picks up donations from HEB and Costco, and she donates that to other free fridges and food pantries. And she often has a lot of leftover that she has nowhere to put it. And so all of that would go there. And also, the Hayes County Food Bank I could pick stuff up from there and other places, and I would make sure that it was stocked. And anybody in the neighborhood who had extra, they cleaned out their pantry, as long as it was not past the expiration date that the Central Texas Food Bank has, we can put it in there. If you just say, you know what, I've got a couple extra bucks this month, I'll put some cans, or I'll buy an extra pound of hamburger or whatever.
Right. And the problem is that we can't buy electric code standard, have a refrigerator outside or a freezer. They're not rated to be outside, and they don't meet USDA code to just put something outside. So we would be taking a risk.
And what if I put it to shed?
Pardon?
What if I bought a shed?
Well, if you want to do that on your property, I think it's okay. But I think that
What
Josh
if I
says we
We'd
can't
have to
do
ask the
it on
attorney.
city property.
We'd have to
Well,
check
what
the
if I
code
put
for
a
that.
shed on city property?
I'm just saying.
You said you could put it outside.
Excuse me,
No, we can't put it outside.
if we may,
That's what I just said.
there's a second part to that. Our attorney, we sent, from the moment we received the request, all legal issues go to our attorney, go to TML. We have a policy that we have to protect. We have the city hall property that we have to protect, our residents that we have to protect. All the extensive research that Rose has done, and it's been quite a bit. Everything that she has, and correct me if I'm wrong, the summative response is that the city is not the right candidate for that. Our attorney has provided legal advice and says, this is not in the best interest of the city. It is a liability for the city for countless reasons. Now, I don't know, we'd have to research. If you say, well, I want to do it on my own property, if you want to come to city council and say, can I do this on my own property?
Why would I need your
Then we
permission?
could check. If you're gonna run a food pantry, what have you, we would just need to check what the code says in that.
Why would I need your permission to do something like that on my
If
property?
you're gonna have, for example, 100 people coming and going, or if your insurance allows it, we'd have to see what it is. But the city, would you like to finish?
Yeah, the food bank itself, when you pick up food, they require you to be a 501(c) or a church. And we are a governing body, and under that particular, just that along the first criteria, I was told that is not an appropriate thing. You have to be a 501(c) or a church to stock a pantry.
I didn't ask you to stop.
Right, or to have a pantry.
We cannot house it on city
It has-
property.
That's fine. I was not, but, you know,
Yes, ma'am.
that's, thank you for answering my question.
But we will bring it to council. We thank you for bringing it to council. Rose does have
Yeah.
resources for all of the food banks, food pantries. I know Mayor Harvey Davis volunteers at Manchaca United Methodist Church, if I may, sir, every Saturday. And they serve more than 100 families every single weekend. Mayor Harvey volunteers this time.
And I'm
If
grateful
anyone,
that he does, and that's awesome, but that's not in northern Hayes County.
That's
right
like 5
here.
minutes away.
Right, it's right here. And so they serve more than 100 families. If anyone has a need for services, Rose has, pardon me, has very kindly provided a list of resources available. And we'll also put them on the website.
5 miles.
Right, all within 5 miles, there are many opportunities for resources to be provided. And so I would bring it to council based on Rose's recommendation. Rose?
So, well, I can make a motion that under advice of the attorney that we don't recommend having a food pantry at City Hall.
Second? Does anyone have a second? All those in favor? Thomas, I'm sorry, I can't see you, sir. 4. The city of Hayes is unable to provide services for that request. The next item on the agenda is to receive an update and to take appropriate action regarding possible grant applications to assist in the completion of drainage and other water projects. Would you like to provide this update, or would you like me to do that?
Yes, we've been attending workshops as they come up and been having regular meetings. There's a possibility for grants through its HB 500 is what the main umbrella is, to cover, like, to either recover costs for what we're having to spend on the well and to cover costs for stuff like the filter system, but they have to be towards water conservation. And one of the things we're also asking for in that will be, what are they called? The meters. They're called, there's an acronym. They're electronic. And so they catch waterways faster because it sets up an alarm. And they are, the water company can note that, okay, there's a meter going crazy over here. We need to do something. So it doesn't require someone to come and manually read them. They're totally electronic. And it does help conserve water. So we'll be asking for that in the grant as well. So we're working pretty hard on this one. We need the money to get
If I may add, do you have something to add first?
I just wanted to recommend that we create a committee to address HB 500 specifically.
500. Okay, thank you. On that, I did want to recognize, we had a council member years ago, Mr. Richard Gibbons, and at that time, he said, I think we should have smart meters. And we didn't have the funds for that. This creates a wonderful opportunity for us to bring that to fruition. We had a meeting here recently, last week, in which we discussed the opportunities and the things that we could align with these funds, what we could do, what's eligible for the Elliott Ranch repairs, the well repairs, e-reader meters, which are smart meters, advanced meter infrastructure, variable frequency drives, and possibly for Elliott Ranch, an extra storage tank for Elliott Ranch as well, an extra one. And
There is
right.
also been the thought of connectivity and that
Interconnect.
between the wells, and our engineer will have to, they have to come to the next meeting because we don't even know if that's feasible.
Right.
Is there enough easement to do it? So,
Right, it's a stretch.
and I don't think there is, but that is something that is on the table to discuss with the engineer.
Thank you. But as we mentioned, there are quite a few active projects. The one of highest priority is seeking funds because this is a rare opportunity to have funds for all the much needed infrastructure, not only that we need, but Elliott Ranch needs as well. This is a hefty price tag and our treasurer can tell us how much maybe at the next meeting we've expended on wells in the past 2 to 3 years. We can provide that update. But we do, would like to form a committee as recommended by Christine.
Question.
Yes, please.
They have a timeline to put all this grant application.
Yes.
Filled out.
Yes, we have the deadlines. Go ahead.
It's not incredibly set. It's not like by July 1st.
Right.
They have it'll end like at the end of July. And, but they have it very vague. When I called and spoke to them, she said, that is all we can give you right now.
Okay.
It's what we have. So it's keep attending the things. And when you go to the webinars, which I've gone back and listened to all of them, just jot down what you hear. Because
Okay.
right now, that's what you've got.
Yeah, I just
That's
make
all
sure
we
we
know.
don't, we get
Yeah.
the scope and
Oh, yeah.
file it in, get it
Yeah.
in time.
She said, that's all you have right now. So that's what
No,
you
it
have
is
to
a-
run with.
It is a quick turnaround. It is a wonderful opportunity, which we're going to make every effort to pursue these grants. We do need a committee. We have been meeting about this. We have notified our engineers, Freeland and Turk. We are going to send them a task order because of all of the requirements in order for us to be eligible to receive these funds, to apply and receive the funds. And we do have a tight turnaround. And we are going to incur the costs. And this grant, like as Rose mentioned and Christine mentioned, we can do retro. I believe it's till last
Yes.
June.
Yes.
For all the expenses that we've already incurred, we can recoup those funds. So we can apply for recoup and all of these other things, which would be wonderful for the city of Hayes, right? And future projects. So we're gonna get a task order together and submit that to Freeland and Turk.
They require so much ahead of your
Mhm.
request. You know,
Mhm.
you have to sometimes already have it. The plan.
Right.
You have to have
They'll be
If not, we already do.
prioritizing, ready to proceed.
ready
Right.
to proceed gets
Right.
first priority. So that's why we're gonna have to work really quickly and work with the engineers to get it done.
Right. Does anyone have any questions regarding that?
I have one question.
Yes, please.
In attending those webinars and speaking with some folks about the HB 500, they did mention that there was a possibility for municipalities like yours to form an interconnect for emergency
Mhm.
water from the city.
There is,
Mhm.
there is that possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something that you may be pursuing as
We're
well?
looking into
Yeah.
that option,
It-
the cost. Mhm.
Yeah, we have to do costs that we have to do, like, do we have the easement ability to actually dig and bring the line? You know, if you can't get the easement, then you can't do the project. So that's one of the things we have to get. The
And under
one thing
ready,
that has to be done.
under ready to proceed, the interconnect would be at the bottom of the list. Because you have to be ready to proceed and submit application by the deadline. And so task order, we're gonna start with its highest priorities first. Expenses already incurred. We want to fix well number 2. We want number 3 online. Then we want to do smart readers, the index thing, all of these other, we have a long list of items that we want to pursue. And we're going to meet with our engineers to get that task order ready. So we can go full force ahead on that.
I think we'll have to find out from them how reasonable it is to get any of that done in time.
Right.
If it's a reasonable thing and to be done, I say shoot, when you go for a grant, you just shoot big and
Absolutely.
take everything you can get. So,
Fish with a big net. That's what we used to call it at the state. You fish with a big net.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to officially offer my assistance. I'm a real estate broker with 20 years experience and have lots of folks that could maybe assist in understanding the easement possibilities and exploring those avenues.
Thank you. We have our engineers. We have an engineer on staff. We have an engineer on council. We appreciate your offer. We're going to keep this internal for the city of Hayes. And we will work with Elliott Ranch with the liaison, and we do provide updates, but we're not taking outside at this time. Thank you for your offer. Does anyone have any other questions?
We need to form the committee.
Yes, we do need to form the committee. Now, Rose
I'm on in now.
has done extensive research. Christine has done extensive research. Tony is an engineer. Do you want to work on that, or Candace? We would need 3 people from the city. I can provide oversight.
I can be consultation and then engineer.
Okay, so you want to be available for that?
But I'm working.
This
guess
is true.
we'll-
This is true. Megan?
Yeah.
Yes? So 3, and I'll provide oversight, 4. Correct? Does the council approve of a 4 committee member or 3 plus an oversight member? for our grant application process and task order and to work with. We work very closely with Freeland and we work very closely with Elliott Ranch. Does anyone have a motion to file?
Motion to form the committee?
Yes,
A
please.
motion- A motion to form a committee and the committee as presented is acceptable to me.
Anyone have a second? Right,
I like that.
second. Thank you.
All in favor?
All in favor? Another motion to adjourn? It is
Want to quickly, so it's gonna be Megan, Rose, you'll be,
oversight
okay, so Megan, Rose, myself.
Mhm.
And then,
to work in collaboration with the,
Your consultation. if
with
you need
Freeland and
any
Church.
okay,
Now, we have asked for Melanie to join us so that she's assigned specifically with us, so that because of the time constraints, we have someone that we can work with. Because Freeland and Turk does have other major clients, we want to make sure that they assign her to us specifically for this project.
It's
At a hefty
their
price tag.
staff.
Yes, she's one of their engineers.
okay.
Anything else?
Oh,
A motion to adjourn. It is March 9th, 8:25 PM.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you. Second? All those in favor?
Right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and even the technical glitches. And thank you so much, Hannah. Did you give her a chance?